Gamers Against Cancer 2026. My name is ProPokenoob, and I'll be taking you through the next couple of runs as we get near the end of this wonderful 3-day marathon that has raised over $1,600 for Stand Up to Cancer. We're going to be jumping immediately into our next run, Jedi Academy, 80% no SL and no VRGI with Build Nye. Good luck and have fun.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Build 9. Once again, earlier in the marathon, we did some Elite Force, but now we're running it back with some Star Wars Jedi Academy. And I have with me the wonderful Mr. Lay.
Hello there. Hi, Bill. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So basically, with Jedi Academy, with our two little additions, we have No Stab Launch, which is a movement tech which was found decently recently, that allows us to skip a large portions of levels, so we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, it's about as recent as you can really get with a game that's this optimized. It's been a good 6 years or so, or 7, but like in terms of this game, this is still kind of like recent-ish.
Absolutely. And no VRGI, which I'm currently displaying, which removes velocity reduction on ground impact. It basically just allows us to jump anywhere and less keeps our speed. And we'll go further into what VRGI is once we get the run going. So without further ado, I guess let's get started. So we can start time in 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Let's get rocking and rolling.
Awesome. So yeah, as Bill said, we're playing no VRGI. As you can see, we have strafe jumping and bunny hopping, and because this game is built on a heavily modified Quake 3 engine, which means we kind of inherit the air control and the air acceleration from that game. But it is, of course, very different. Like, we have much more air control than we do in Quake 3, which is what kind of makes this movement even unique among like other strafe games. And this game in particular also has like this extra little like caveat to where normally when you land a jump, you lose half of your speed unless you're going downhill or doing something else to mitigate that effect, which is known as VRGI, velocity reduction on ground impact. Don't ask who came up with that name. But yeah, so for today we lifted this restriction, so you will see Build jump anywhere and build crazy amounts of speed, as you've probably seen happen in other strafe heavy and bunny hop heavy games. And already here we're just going out of bounds immediately. Everything is happening so fast, which is why I'm so like doing so much explaining here, because all of this stuff is like so hard and it goes by so quick. And Bill really needs to focus to do all this stuff, so I'm, trying to give him some help in the commentary here with that. But yeah, everything you see here, like every movement, every saber swing, everything is like intentional and planned. There's so much tech to this game. There's like every second that passes, there's some piece of tech that needs like 10 minutes of explaining. So we can't really get through everything, but yeah, we'll just see what we'll have time to explain and what's what will be good. So yeah, these were the introductory missions. And now that we're through with those training missions where we become a Jedi and get our force powers, we now get like a pool of selectable missions, 4 of which we have to do, and then 1 we get to skip. And this one is probably like the hardest level to optimize, I would say. It's extremely movement heavy. Every mistake here is just so punishing. And just watching good just watching like players who have like experience with the game like Bill here is just it's just really nice. Like flying over these trains, like everything here is really,
God.
as you can see, these like power lines, they damage you. There's enemies shooting at you.
There we go. We're getting into a rhythm. I swear I've warmed up before this.
Yeah, this level notoriously hard to play, especially with nerves, especially when you're like doing a marathon. This is like
what in the world?
A brutal one to get through.
I'm just showing y'all the greatness of Rail and just how great this level is. You get to see more wonderful tricks and how this movement is just beautiful. I mean, just look at that.
Wonderful. So clean.
Okay, mission accomplished.
So here we're arriving like at the end of this first selectable mission, and we're going to go into the second one, which is going to be taking place on Blangeel, and then we're going to see a very cool skip that is definitely worth talking about because we're going to be using it. We're going to be using the glitch a couple more times throughout the run. So here a cutscene plays at the start, and we're going to refresh our graphic settings in order to be able to move during that cutscene. So as you can see, the cutscene is playing. You can see the worm and our player model over there. And we are going to move during this cutscene, and we are going to grab one of these 4 parts that we're supposed to collect. In this mission, we're supposed to collect these ship parts, and then we have to bring them back. And when the cutscene ends, normally it positions you to like around the door of the ship, like the entrance of the ship. And so what we do is we enter the cutscene, we go to the furthest away part, and then we time it in a way where the cutscene just ends like right after we grab the part. And this saves us some backtracking on this furthest part, essentially saving us like what, 10 seconds, which is pretty neat. And then we just collect the rest here as normal.
Just the power coupling I need.
Which is pretty nice. Of course, doing all these like very optimized routes here, taking the shortest paths and grabbing all the slopes along the way. And here also very cool, Bill throwing grenades on the ground, because these worms, they will always go towards they will go towards the player wherever the player touches the floor. But the worms can also be triggered by anything else that touches the floor. So a grenade or a projectile, anything that touches the floor will attract the worms and will pull them away from the player, because they can block the player and then be very, very annoying on the way.
We got through the terrifying level that everyone faces kids.
Yeah, the absolute nightmare fuel worm level. Oof. So here, oh, beautiful chain right at the start. Ah, you love to see it.
That's the
And
beauty
here,
of
perfectly
no
normal
VRGI.
Nice.
Oh, some of the cleanest candy clown I've probably ever had.
Beautiful. That's much harder than it looks. Also, this wall is just a suggestion, and you can just walk in and then back out, and you skip a huge cave. And then here is another like super cool thing. So you're supposed to go into the sandcrawler and like rescue a droid, but we can clip our head through the floor of the sandcrawler. The game thinks that we're inside, spawns the droid that we're supposed to rescue. Then we clip our hand into the wall using a grenade, activate the droid from the outside. Then we jump up here on this ledge and do that thing again where we like put our hand into the wall. And this lets us push the one obstacle that's in front of the droid out of the droid's way, so that the level like basically completes itself. Like this. So indoors the droid moves now. And if Bill did everything correctly, these guys spawn, we just kill them off with some lightning here, and that's the whole level. Nope, missed one.
There we go.
Well done.
There is a slightly harder thing called a grip stretch, which I'm not opting for in this run. Basically, just cuts the duration of this level quite a bit.
Yep.
Mr. Lay is very, very good at grip strats, but I'm just opting for nice casual. Me just play the level like usual.
Yeah, this used to be, as you can see, this used to be a very nice level to play. A lot of indoor, indoor movement, not many like hard chains or anything, not many ways to fuck up or, nothing that really punishes you if you get it wrong. But a couple of years ago, we found another way to skip like this entire level basically, which is extremely difficult. It became one of the hardest tricks in the game, where you can like put your points into force grip and then take one of the mercenaries at the start of the map and then use force grip to like jump on him repeatedly and get higher and higher and then cross a huge invisible wall. to basically get to the end of the level immediately. But then, yeah, other than that, the levels, you know, nothing major is happening here. That's basically it. We kill off these guys and the level is over, which is pretty neat. And now we go into the, like, second set of story missions. First were the 2 green levels at the start, and then this is the second set of story missions. Here we're on Hoth, as you probably, you know, remember from the movies. And this level actually features our first instance of vehicles, which are super, super broken and super funny. We're going to encounter our first vehicle right here. Yep, so these Tauntauns have a boost, and as you can see, they can also strafe jump. But not only can they strafe jump, there's this insane interaction here, where if you walk a Tauntaun off a high enough cliff, it will throw you off, and for some reason, it can no longer decelerate properly. So as you can see, it slides around the floor now, and we can abuse that, boost into the wall, gain some height, and clear this giant invisible wall, basically, that gets us all the way to the end of the level, skipping the entire, like, indoor section that you're supposed to go through here normally. And yeah, then there's a second part to this, the indoor part of the Echo Base. This one is a little, I don't know, less flashy than the last one. This is mostly just tight hallways and corridors with tons of enemies. So yeah, definitely maybe a, you know, good point to talk about some of the smaller things we also employ here. Like, for example, we use something called Skyrim strats. So you see, for the most part, Bill is running around with a bowcaster. And the bowcaster here is super, super useful because the bowcaster, if you use the bowcaster to shoot a stormtrooper in the knees, they will die immediately. And it is very easy to hit their knees because there's 2 of them. It's easier than a headshot. And you can charge this bowcaster to shoot multiple shots at once. So it's very easy to use the bowcaster to clear out stormtroopers in front of you, as you can see here. Good old Skyrim strats.
Absolutely. If you remember Elite Force, it's just basically just a condensed version of that. Just going through the motions of the small hallways. Oh, hey, another Wampa. We're on to our first boss fight, which is Aurora. Oh no, evil Sith. Already done.
Yeah, the boss fights in this game are genuinely very easy, and like if you know what you're doing. But there are some fights that are like you wouldn't expect to be really tough, but they end up really being in the speedrun. This is the next, or the only other instance of vehicles in this game, and this one is crazy. So these bikes are beyond broken. I would love to explain to you how they are broken, but it's gonna take 2 hours, and we don't have that much time. So as you saw there, the general gist of what is happening is Bill uses the broken mechanics of the bike to bug the bike on the mountain so that the bike keeps bouncing up the mountain with the same velocity. And then he activates Force Rage so that he can't go below 1 HP. And then if he hits the bike, like if the bike hits him just right, it's gonna knock him up all the way up the mountain. Basically allowing us to skip the entire map because that map is like massive. It's so massive, it's so long. But the end of the map and the start of the map are separated just by that mountain. So we get up on the mountain and then we skip basically the entire thing. So like a 5-minute level, 6-minute level turns into a 20-second level super easily. This one is also interesting. There was a cool thing here with the lightning gun, but we're gonna see that again later, so don't worry about it for now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the special strat.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have Lightning 3.
I do though.
Oh, right, my bad. My bad, sorry. Okay, yeah, awesome. Okay, this is gonna be very cool then. This is, I think, the second most recent thing we've found, which is surprisingly recent. because the third most recent thing we found is like years and years and years old. But this is actually from last year. I found this after some guy on Reddit saw something weird happen in his game, and then I sat there investigating for hours. But this is crazy. So here you're supposed to like go through the level, and then you fight a boss, and then you kill him, and game over. Turns out this cutscene in particular is very strange the way it works. And if you skip the cutscene, the boss is going to be right here, but invisible. And you can't interact with him, except for Force Lightning. Like, Force Lightning is the only thing that can interact with him. So, but we can't just kill him. The level end trigger plays when the boss is at exactly 1 HP. And normally the game prevents him from dying when you're fighting him the intended way. But obviously here, nothing's preventing him from dying. So if we don't get him to 1 HP, and if we get him below, then the level is just going to soft lock because the trigger to end the level never happened. The problem is he has 300. Oh my god, there it is. Wow. Incredible. Yeah, that's a super RNG heavy trick. It's so bad. And it's RNG because, as I was saying, he has 300 HP. And both-handed, like two-handed lightning that we need to use here to deal enough damage, deals only even numbers of damage, which is the problem. So you can't actually get to 1 HP just with lightning alone. So you need to lightning him in a way where the collision, like the knockback collision he gets, and you know, whatever else kind of physical damage he gets, then adds up to him being at 1 HP at the end. And also, lightning is kind of frame rate dependent. Then the check that checks whether he's at 1 HP is only done every 100 milliseconds. So, as you can imagine, juggling all these variables, most of which are, like, some of which are just completely random as well, like when you're playing, obviously. It's just a massive, massive, massive RNG fest, and continuously ruins runs.
Come on, Jimmy. This is Jimmy. He likes to eat prisoners that try to escape, but we can trick him with mind trick, so he just stares at a wall for the rest of his life.
Yep.
He can't see nothing or do anything. He's like, "Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm here."
Yeah, he just really enjoys looking at that corner.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure. Wait here.
So yeah, this level notoriously easy to soft lock. Like this corridor and then everything after this. This level is also just so insanely convoluted. Like, it looks easy and it looks it looks not that hard to understand what's happening, but it is like insanely convoluted. You need to read a like PhD thesis to understand how this level works. Like in detail. So yeah, we definitely don't have the time to go into this, but you need to know that there's so much going on at once here, and so many things you have to look out for to do this the right way, and build, of course, no problem, smashed completely. Well done.
Absolutely.
So yeah, now we're going into the next set of story missions, where arguably the coolest level, or one of the coolest definitely. Another very, very movement intensive sort of level. Which is super it's just a cool level to look at. Cool skips, cool jumps, just cool. Cool rain, I guess, cool enemies.
The rain's
cool weapon. Cool. Yeah, so this weapon that Build is holding right now is called the Stuker Concussion Rifle, and it is by far the best weapon in the game for speedrunning purposes, and, you know, maybe for casual purposes too. Because its alt-fire gives us knockback. So we can turn around, as you're going to see here very soon, we can turn around mid-air, release all our movement keys, turn around mid-air, let's see, there we go, let's see, and then shoot backwards to give us acceleration, and turn back, resume strafing, and use that extra speed we get from the knockback of the gun to clear these massive like gaps that we need to clear to get to the end here. Beautifully done. That was so nice. That was first try as well. You don't know how hard this is. This is insanely hard. build makes it look easy, but it's very, very hard.
It's literally taken hundreds of hours to do this.
Yeah.
And for someone like Lei, thousands.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, so here we kill off these guys, because Kyle has to open up a door for us. Won't do it until we kill all those guys. So here we are going to open this door with the Stormtroopers, because that manipulates Kyle's AI to run towards the enemies, making him leave the room a bit faster than usual. Well, he got stuck on something there, but normally it helps. And then most influential skip of all time, Dildo skip, boom, saves a whole 2 weeks off of the run. Pretty awesome. So yeah, another indoor mission. Not that much happening really. Just more like, I don't know, indoor stuff, small corridors. A lot of enemies.
There we go.
Nice.
You don't want to try in the next level.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know what you're gonna try.
Yeah,
There's like one thing to try on that level.
the singular thing.
Yeah, so the next one also very like indoorsy kind of level with not that much. But there's a sick chain here.
I ran into some trouble, but I'm almost to the top.
Ah!
I ran into some trouble, but I'm almost to the top of the core.
Ah!
I ran into some trouble, but I'm almost to the top.
And
So
now
close.
I'm undershooting.
I ran into some trouble, but I'm almost to the top of the core.
Oh my
Nice.
days, we did it.
Yep, so very difficult chain called the late chain. It is like, it's one of my favorite chains. When I did this like once, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this from now on. It is ridiculously difficult, and it barely saves any time. Like it saves just like a second maybe if you do it like perfectly, to max. And it's so hard if you're, especially if you have VRGI on, the chain is just brutal. But yeah, as you can see, Build, of course, the master, completely nailing that chain.
It was first try too. So
Yeah, exact first try all the way.
Droid room, just a bunch of movement tech of pull canceling, with just firing, then pulling, then firing again.
Yep, precisely. That's also what we used on the previous level with the 4 droids. Cooldowns of weapons can be cancelled if you do force pull between shots, and this gun is like just super good against droid enemies. And then this is like the real boss of the game because he can be such a troll. And then here is what the game considers a boss fight, which casually is kind of tricky, but we just entered a cutscene by refreshing our graphic settings again, and then we can kill him in the cutscene because for some reason the game just registers that as a victory. And now we move into the 3rd tier of missions, which means we're going to have the highest level of force jump, which is going to be super cool to look at. And Build is starting out with the most beautiful level in the run. Just watch this chain. Nice force protect to not die. Beautiful. And that's the end of the level. That's one chain from the start to the end, using the Stuker to give himself some extra speed, firing it backwards. Just wonderfully done. Then waiting here for some force, because we need to...
We need
push these
50
two
force,
buttons.
precisely.
Yep. Here, some more Stuker boosts. Well done.
Looks like no one's home.
Last one's pretty cool. This one is a very vertical level. Now that we have Force Jump 3, we can jump very high, and this level really puts us to the test here on how well we can manage our force doing these really high jumps. Because as you can see on the bottom right corner, every time we like use force to like enhance our jump height, it obviously drains our force, and now that we have force from 3, we have these super high jumps that drain like almost all our force. And so we want to climb this giant tower. That means we have to jump a lot and jump very high. And the most difficult part of this map, or like playing it well, is really conserving your force well, so that at every jump you never have to wait for the force to regenerate to be able to, get between, get from level to level. And Build actually doing a fantastic job. Can't even explain the whole thing before he's done with the level. All right, next challenge, please. Right, so we've had some indoor levels packed with enemies, but this one really takes it to the extreme. We have the most narrow hallways. We have the most enemies. Everything is completely packed with enemies, explosive mines, buttons that are so hard to press that you're gonna be stuck for 30 seconds just trying to find the flying
Absolutely.
sprite. This level is... I think it's like supposed to be like a bit of a nod to Jedi Outcast, the predecessor, which very much looked like this with the Imperial installations and all the packed like hallways and too many enemies and stuff like that. But unlike a lot of the other indoor levels, the skill ceiling on this one is insanely high, because having high force jump levels also means that your default base jump height is higher. So if you have a very high jump height in these super tight corridors, it becomes very, very hard to navigate them. And then you also have all these stormtroopers running around and all these enemies shooting at you. And so really keeping your speed through these hallways is extremely difficult. And Build, of course, doing a wonderful job, as always. Yeah, so here we shoot some TIE fighters, and we're gonna be almost done here. So these are on a cycle, so if you have a consistent like pathing to up here, you're always going to encounter kind of the same pattern of TIE fighters. So you don't want to be late throughout like the mission. You don't want to be slow, because then the pattern is going to be different and it's going to be suboptimal to like wait for them to appear in front of the gun, and so on and so on. So yeah, we kill off these guys over here, and that's basically the level done. Build again, wonderful job.
Now it's time for a one-on-one showdown with the one and only Boba Fett.
Weapons right there.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Nope. But we don't see him for like half the mission, because we do a little vid restart, enter the cutscene again.
Yep, precisely. This keeps Boba kind of off our back for a while, because he can get in the way sometimes. And this mission is again one of those where there's not many tricks or skips or something like that. This is kind of like mostly just a casual like inbounds kind of route, but it's insanely movement intensive. Like every jump on this map is normally like precisely mapped out, because as you can see, this map has like very is very varied in elevation of the different surfaces. So normally when you're playing with VRGI on, you have all these like, you have to always consider where you're going to land and how you're going to map out your chains and jumps and when you need to hit. And of course, without the restriction, we can just go fast, go completely bazinga on this very long map with a few turns and stuff. And as you see now that the cutscene ended, okay, oh wow, Build going for the double triangle, incredible. The triangle is like a mega flex strat. It saves like what, 0.1 second if you do it like task level. But Build just flexing on us, getting it first try. Insane.
Both ways.
Both ways as well is crazy. We've seen like marathon performances and like relay races where people wanted to go for it and then just sit there for like a minute straight trying to hit that hole once. Yeah, Build showing how it's done. Crazy. And now another very vertical, very like force point intensive level. We have to climb these big towers, because this casually is such a long level. This is the longest level casually, but we can just climb up on the side of these buildings because we have such high force jump now. And yeah, that's basically the entire level. That's like if we were to like speedrun the casual route, I guess, this would be like an easy, like what, 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah, roughly.
And then like this, it just takes 30 seconds. There used to be like a strategy where you mind trick a jetpack trooper, then jump on his head and keep pulling and mind tricking him, and then you can ascend all the way to the end. That took like 5 minutes, and it was still faster than the indoor route. So, but that was also early days, unoptimized days. So, you know.
This is another compact level with a bunch of enemies. Like, it's every level in Tier 3. There's so many enemies.
Yep.
That Rift.
Yep. Especially like these indoor missions in Tier 3. They are all very, very high skill ceiling, and they are all so punishing when you mess something up. Like the other indoor missions from earlier in the game, they are much more forgiving when you mess something up because you can't really go that fast in the first place, and they are, you know, but these ones, like these final indoor missions, they are extremely tough. They are very hard. Yeah, they're not as flashy as the big open levels, but don't be fooled. They are just as, if not harder
There we go.
than some of the
Easy.
open missions you see.
Now we're going into the biggest aspect of the run. Do we save or kill Raj? What do you think, Lay?
Coin flip?
Coin flip?
Coin flip. Wait, I have one here. Tails. Fuck, what does that mean? Light side. Well, that was dark side. Alright, nice.
Well, tails always means dark.
Yeah, tails, you know. Tails means dark side. Everyone knows this. So yeah, okay, here, upcoming, it's such a crazy trick. Like, it's still like 15 to 20 seconds away, but I have to start explaining this now because it's so crazy. So in an upcoming room, we're gonna have to open a door, and the door opens when you destroy 2 pillars that are in the floor, that are under the door, like in the floor below. And we could go there and then go back very quickly, but that takes so much time, and what we do instead is we throw our saber through the ground, hold right click to maintain it below us, guide it blindly under the floor, align, not with a wall, okay, turn around, turn it off just at the right time, so that the saber hilt starts falling down, reaches the first pillar, breaks the pillar, bounces against the wall, and bounces out at the right angle to break the second pillar, which is completely crazy. It's not enough to just guide it, because the saber is kind of stuck to the roof of the floor below, which then also gets like lower later. So we have to like disable the saber at the right time, just so the hilt starts like getting the gravity and starts falling. And to coordinate that like blindly, completely blind, is so crazy. And yeah, definitely another run killer for many players. Yeah, so build here, getting a bad setup. Gonna try again, no problemo.
I'm just gonna do chains because it's
okay. Yeah, so build is opting out of that strat, which is actually kind of nice because now you get to see what it actually skips. So the old way of doing this, or the way of doing this that's actually like recommended when you're learning the game, because the other one is so mind-numbingly stupidly hard, is you can throw your saber through the ground here, disable your hilt so that the hilt falls and breaks these chains. And these chains are like made for backtracking. So when you go down there casually, you like go the long way around, and then you break those like pillars, and then you break these chains so that you can just jump back up. Okay, yeah, Bill having a bit of a hard time, but that's understandable because normally he does the other thing. So then you come down here, break these pillars, and jump back up through the backtracking gateway. So we're basically abusing that there's backtracking here to go down there very quickly, and then that opens this door. So yeah, so the other trick would have brought our saber down, disabled it at the right time. The hilt would have gone down and would have broken both pillars. So yeah, crazy trick. But yeah. So yeah, final mission. So in about 30 seconds, we'll have time coming up. 20 to 30, something like that. There's going to be a 2-part boss fight here at the very end. One against Tavion, and then one against Kyle. So this first one was pretty easy, especially if she lasers. You just hit her twice, pretty good. And now for Kyle, we're going to swing and activate force speed. And that's time. Well done.
That's time. There we go. An absolutely great run. So many cool things to do. So many cool things to see. And I hope everyone enjoyed watching this run of Jedi Academy. Mr. Leif, if you want to give some shout outs, go right ahead.
Sure. So first of all, shout outs to Bill for having me on this run. Shout outs to Wrong House. Shout outs to Gamers Against Cancer, of course, for having us. Thank you. And yeah, have an awesome rest of the marathon.
Absolutely.
My students, Luke. Maybe I shouldn't be teaching at the academy. It's not like I've been the perfect.
Thank you very much, Build Knife, for that awesome run. Once again, proving that Star Wars does not care about walls or anything actually being physically there. Excellent run and fantastic commentary.
Thank you.
We're going to be setting up for the next run. Don't go anywhere, chat. You're watching Gamers Against Cancer 2026.